Welcome back to NSC's weekly series spotlight. The boys in gold fell short in the Southern Showdown, but it's onward and upward as they head to FC Cincinnati. We'll talk about all that and more here on Spotlight. Welcome back, Will. It was a big weekend for you with college football, wasn't it?
College football, international break was spent watching a lot of professional college football. But fall, Liv, most importantly, is playoff soccer. Right around the corner. We're ready to go. We're back at it, and we've got a lot to discuss.
We are, and we do. So let's talk about the Southern Showdown first against Atlanta United. A frustrating match to watch. I want to know, do you think that this was a lot of missed opportunity from the Nashville SC side, or was it Atlanta that really showed up and stayed compact in their defense?
Well, I think you first have to start by giving credit to the goalkeeper, Jaden Hibbert, who had a terrific game. He gets the #1 shirt ahead of Brad Guzan over these past few games as Atlanta kind of looks more towards the future. So you have some young players like him trying some new things, trying to figure out what the future of Atlanta United looks like. So I think you first have to tip your cap to them for a good defensive performance. It's a lesson and a reminder, Liv, that in this league, you can never take any match for granted. The team knows that. BJ Callahan and his staff knows that. But I think one set piece, one moment, one counterattack, it can be the difference in 3 points and 0. And where Nashville is going to take its next step as a team and as an organization and a club is being able to play against low blocks and play against teams who know that you are going to be the aggressor. And that's where Nashville has had so much success in open games. You think about Philadelphia, you think about Orlando, you think about Columbus at home, Columbus on the road and the success they had in that match. And all of those games, the other team is trying to win. That's not to say that Atlanta's not trying to win, but Atlanta will also sat back and was comfortable with their one goal as many other teams will chase a second. So it's the next step in the maturation and evolution of Nashville SC. Different kind of challenge this weekend in Cincinnati, but I thought that Atlanta defended well. Nashville had chances, but unfortunately couldn't find the back of the net.
Right. Despite it being a loss, what was encouraging for you to see in this match?
Well, I just think the chances created were encouraging. You would like them to go in the back of the net. I mean, sometimes it is truly that simple that in this sport, you play over 30 games and 40 matches in all competitions. You're going to have nights like this. And a goalkeeper that puts on a really good performance and really fine margins in terms of offsides, in terms of fouls, in terms of all of it, that's Major League Soccer. In this league, there's not that big of a gap between the teams at the top of the table and the bottom, and especially not in a rivalry match. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of what Nashville did in Atlanta this time last year, where Atlanta, a playoff team last season, they upset Inter Miami in the first round of the playoffs. Nashville beat them in their own place and was able to really feel good about, all right, we have a proof of concept of what we're going to be under our new manager. Still a new manager in Atlanta as well, Ronnie Dyla, who's trying to implement his ideas and grow his voice to allow his team to trust what he's doing in that locker room. So I think you like the chances that Nashville created. Just on the night, you tip your cap to Jaden Hibbert and say, well done.
I can't believe I'm saying this. There are 5 regular season matches left. What do you want to see from Nashville SC in these 5 remaining matches in order to stay in the top 4 in the East?
Consistency and getting back to the Nashville way, and that's creating opportunities with their press. I think that's where Nashville can get back to what was working so well throughout the summer and just being difficult to play against. And anytime we talk to BJ Callahan about what he values within this team, that's always where he begins. Consistency, be difficult to play against. I think you look at this midfield, Liv, and there's a lot of competition for places right now. As Tyler Boyd has gotten back, that's another positive from the Atlanta match, is being able to see him again. I feel like Gaston Brugman is really in good form right now, and the chances that he's creating and adding a little bit of a different element to the way Nashville can build out and the way he, with long passes, can skip lines and can create with space in front of him from the defensive 1/3 or in the middle third. So I'm interested to see how those battles really continue going into the postseason and going into a playoff push. Jacob Schaffelberg, Ahmed Kassem, Alex Wheel, Johnny Perez, Tyler Boyd. It's a great problem to have, but it is a question that's got to be answered for BJ Callahan. How do I get those guys minutes? How do I manage U.S. Open Cup and a semifinal that's coming up within all of that as well? Some big calls for BJ Callahan to make, but ones that he's well prepared to make.
Right, and taking a step outside of regular season play, They're also in US Open Cup, about to go into the semifinals. What are you expecting and what are you looking for on Tuesday?
Well, expecting to see a first choice lineup, first and foremost. I mean, that is something you put all the chips towards at this point. A little bit of a rivalry as well with Philadelphia Union that might make that match a little bit more interesting, especially in the way that Nashville won in Philadelphia, then the dramatic penalty kick for Hani Mukhtar with 10 men back in the late summer. So expecting to see Nashville put its best foot forward. And Nashville is deep enough as a squad to do that and do it well. And that's the beauty of having the midfield options. There's going to be game time for all of these guys. It's just a matter of getting the balance and the combinations right for BJ Callahan and which days he decides to try Johnny Perez, Jacob Schaffelberg, or does Tyler Boyd get a start in there? Does Alex Wheel retain his place? The way that system operates and looks, I'm really interested to see how BJ does it.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be coming off of a win. So they're headed to Cincinnati this Saturday. These are two teams that are going head to head, right? Cincinnati being second, Nashville SC being fourth, 2 points behind. What is going to make this match so crucial for this weekend?
This is one of my favorite matches that Nashville plays every year. And Nashville's looking to make it 2 straight wins in Cincinnati as well after what the boys in gold did. Jacob Schaffelberg and Jack Mayer finding the back of the net. You know, Cincinnati has mirrored Nashville in a lot of ways. Got off to a really hot start, continued that success through the summer, but even more so than Nashville, they've struggled recently. And the fixture congestion of having Leagues Cup, I think, really challenged this Cincinnati team. They're struggling to score right now. Scoreless in 4 of their last 5 MLS matches. But again, the individual quality of their attack is as impressive as any team in this league. When you talk about Evander and what he's been able to do with 16 goals and 9 assists, an MVP candidate before the All-Star break, maybe faded a little bit after the All-Star break, but still very prolific in what he's able to do. You look at Kevin Denke and just the production he's had in year 1 in MLS. I mean, strikers often take a little bit of time to acclimate to Major League Soccer, the way the rules, the way the officiating, the way the travel and climate challenges you. He's been terrific. But I've got my eye on Brenner, who they bring back on loan, former Cincinnati number 9, terrific Brazilian striker, the flair, the speed, the technical quality for him. Only 190 minutes in his back pocket. He would have had more time to get acclimated to Pat Newton's system, to understand his role in this team now over the international break. I'm really curious to see just how much they lean on him specifically in this match. When
looking at Nashville SC's lineup, who are you looking forward to stepping up and really matching up against FC Cincinnati?
Well, I promise this is not a lazy answer, but it's Hani Mukhtar, right? I mean, in rivalry matches, these are the moments where Hani Mukhtar rises to the occasion the most. And you talk about Orlando, Atlanta, Cincinnati. Those are the clubs that Hani has been most impressive against. That's where he's had the most goals and assists in his career outside of DC United and Chicago Fire, who he's also been really excellent against too. So Eastern Conference matchups like this are where Hani is at his best. And 14 goals, 11 assists. He's rounding into form. He's playing so well, Liv, within this team. And it's not just the goals and assists. Every time we've met with BJ Callahan this season, he's talked about how Hani Mukhtar, the creator, his chance creation numbers are at their highest right now. So things that aren't showing up on the stat sheet, Hani is doing. I expect this to be a really open game, and I expect Nashville to come back after the defeat it took to Cincinnati at home earlier this year with a bad taste in their mouths, because it's not often that Nashville has had to right wrongs, because Nashville hasn't lost to a lot of Eastern Conference opponents like this. So going to be a really, really interesting match. It's the kind of game that defines a season, and that's too much pressure to put on 190 minutes because there's still 4 games after it. But the tone of how you came out of the international break, the mood in the dressing room in a week where you probably had a bad taste in your mouth after the Atlanta United match, and guys who have been fighting for places who aren't with their countries. You know, Patrick Gosbeck with Australia, Jacob Schaffelberg with Canada, the other international break call-ups that Nashville has had. There are a lot of guys that are maybe getting an opportunity to play with that first team that are trying to battle right now for these last 5 games. So big, big match, big rivalry, 2 fan bases that haven't loved each other since the USL days, and one of my favorite fixtures of the season.
All right, well, thank you for setting the stage for Saturday. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. You can watch on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or listen with our friends on 104.5 The Zone. You can also head to a neighborhood pub near you. Thanks for watching this episode of Spotlight.